All right, we're live. Welcome into this place, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Family Finance Friday with DJ the Money Coach and Nick Westbrooks. And this show is brought to you by the DJ the Money Coach team and the Seven Spheres of Money system. And before we head on to tonight's beach, hit the like button, share with at least 5 people. And if you're not already subscribed to this channel, hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. So you can help us receive the message and spread the message of the Pom Pom Lifestyle Movement, which is plenty of money and peace of mind. And we invite you to come join us on the beaches of the world each and every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, but especially on Fridays. And we are into the middle of January. It's January 17th. And I pray and hope that everyone's January has been going well so far, midway through. Of course, as always, we send our thoughts and prayers out to those, who may be going through some hardships, who may be suffering, especially the folks out there in California. But it's a great day to be alive. It's a great time to be living. We have Inauguration Day coming up this Monday, as well as the Martin Luther King holiday. So, of course, we're probably going to talk a little bit about that, but let's get into it. What's going on, DJ? Happy Friday.
What's happening, Nick? As we always say, any day above ground with great health is an amazing day, and today is no exception to the rule, baby. Y'all know how we get down. It actually is 70 degrees out, but we're about to hunker down for a tremendous cold front that we're going to get down until the low teens, man, here in about 48 hours. So we're bracing ourselves. So I had to go out, make sure that I had everything secure on the outside parameters of the home. Make sure you have the pipes, the water fountains and stuff, secure with the foam and everything, man, because last time this happened, man, I had a pipe burst like about 4 years ago.
I remember that.
You remember that? Yeah, man. And that was in the beginning of February. So yep. I'm just, hey, man, crossing my fingers, man, that nothing happened. So I got out today, ran errands, said, hey, man, it's like a false tense of the weather. And at the same time as last time that this happened, we had real nice, super warm weather, man. I mean, it was like 72 degrees today, nice and warm and everything. But I'm like, man, dude, I know this cold front is coming in here. So let me hunker down, run these errands, get everything secured. So if you're out there and you have a cold front coming through, hey, take heed to the meteorologists. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference between a weatherman and a meteorologist. The meteorologist has a degree. The weatherman is generally just a personality or talent that doesn't know anything about science. If your meteorologist is telling you that the cold front is coming in, man, get prepared for it, hunker down, make sure you do the necessary precautionary measures to secure your home front. That is real. So that's what I have been doing a majority of my day prior to doing my regular, start the 5, victories to thrive, which we talked about. That's something that I want everybody to, make that as their mode of, getting forward towards your goals in 2025. Those 5, principles to thrive. Number 1, first thing we're going to do, make your bed. That's right, Nick. And I'm not even going to lie. Today was a little bit harder for me to make up the bed. Man, I struggled because I had all the sheets and had it tossing and turning. And I'm like, man, dude, I really messed up the bed today. And then I said, I can't be a hypocrite today. Out of all days, I know I got to do the show. So I did make up the bed, ladies and gentlemen. So I accomplished that mountain. So I got over that little hill. I made the bed. Then the second thing that I did, which is now, you tap in and I got my Proverbs for the day. That's right. So today's Proverbs 17. And, Proverbs 17, it talked a little bit about accountability. It talked about humility. It talked about not rewarding evil works with good rewards, because if you do that, then evil will always maintain itself in your home. So, and we see a lot of that in the world today where people have bad behavior and we give them a pass because we're trying to be politically correct. So God says when you reward evil and bad behavior with good outcomes, you will have evil in your house forever. So you have to make sure that you don't do that. That was the core message that I got. And also talked about being braggadocious and being a mocker. Don't be braggadocious. Don't be a mocker. Okay. Don't make a mockery of things. So I really aggressive. And then it talked about, the peace of having a good wife. I think it talked briefly about that. So those messages really heed. And it talked about that, God gives children good parents and that, good grandchildren are a blessing to grandparents. So that's about that lineage thing that we talked about. So that's a lot of stuff. So, hey, read that proverb, it took me about 5 to 8 minutes to let it seep in and put it down into the brain, to the heart, which is most important. Then the third thing is, hey, I went into my prayer and my meditation. Okay. For me, it's a prayer. Most people, it might be meditation. So what I did in order to get that victory to thrive today, I just said, hey, God, let me thank you for, my salvation. Let me thank you for the grace. Let me thank you for your mercy. And let me thank you for having, a roof over my head. Let me thank you for my health. Let me thank you for my children's health. And let me thank you for the blessings that you bestowed upon us and the people that still ride with us. Because we know some people right now, economically, there's challenges, there's changes, and some people are having tough times. And let us be grateful and have gratitude and let us pass on grace to people as well. And I said, hey, God, let me have a grateful and a kind heart as I move forward to today. So that was the basis of my prayer. And then I asked to say, hey, let me help somebody today. And that's something that we're going to talk about a little bit. So I want to make sure that we are a blessing and we talk about you, talk about we talk about our, and talk about us. So that was the third step to thrive, was the prayer meditation. Okay. So now number 4, Nick brings that up for us. It's the physical application. Now, let me be honest with you guys. This week was a challenge for me. This week was a challenge. I only worked out 3 out of the 5 days this week. Now, typically what happens when a person doesn't hit that, every day, they typically beat themselves up. And I'm no exception to the rule. I beat myself up a little bit because I said, hey, man, here it is. I'm talking about the 5, victories to thrive, which are small victories, and didn't work out. So on Tuesday, I missed my workout. I missed my workout on Tuesday and I missed my workout on Wednesday, but I worked out Thursday and Friday. So I worked out Monday, missed my Tuesday workout, missed my Wednesday workout. And what I did was I flipped the script. So I actually worked out before I went to bed this time. And since I'm a late night person, so my workout was at like 3:00 in the morning today. And I worked out, ladies and gentlemen, and I did everything that we're talking about now. I prayed, I read, and I did my workout. And then from there, we get right into number 5. And this is how you bring it all together to thrive. You eat proper and healthy foods. So that I did do. I didn't eat before I went to bed, but I did eat healthy today. Have my, great amount of protein, have my great amount of vegetables, have my great amount of hydration. And even, had, a compliment that said, hey, my skin looks good. Said I look healthier, look clean. And that's a good thing, man. I went to the grocery store, picked up the groceries for, the next 2-3 weeks. And it was so funny because I've taken out, the sugar out of my, regular, diet and everything, ladies and gentlemen. I took out, the alcohol as well. I'm not stopped drinking because I don't drink a lot anyway, but I don't partake of, a beverage, every other weekend like I would normally do during the holiday season. So I haven't had, any, beverages that have, touched the lips or the liver, in a good 3 to 4 weeks. And so I'm at the grocery store, and it's kind of like, the people because you go to the same grocery store. So I'm packing up my stuff on the conveyor belt, And the lady that's doing it, I don't know her, but I know her, you know. So we always say hello to each other. And she's running my stuff, and she sees all the fruit, the vegetables, stuff. And then she said, "Uh-oh," she said, "you was doing good to them darn cookies you put on that conveyor." So man, we both started laughing. I said, "Well, you know, I think I deserve a little bit of reward, and it's only 5." She's like, "Yeah, see, you got all this healthy stuff. Stick them cookies on the back end." I was kind of laughing, but she was like, "You know," she said, "You look good, though." She said, "You look good." I said, "Well, you know, thank you very much." I said, "I'll be rest assured the next time I see you in about 3 weeks, I will still have one of those cookies left." Knowing that I won, because we got a lot of good games coming up. So the 5 short, you know, victories to thrive. Number 1, you know, first things first, you have to make the bed. Okay. Boom. Second thing, get yourself into the proverb of the day. Okay. The third thing, now transfer that proverb and to the prayer of the meditation of the day, and then get yourself engaged into a good physical workout. And typically for me, it's 15 minutes, no breaks. It's generally about, well, let me take it back. It's like a 15 to 20-second break in between routines, so I can just have the intensity level at, you know, red line, because you get the most out of that. And then after you get that massive, intense, great, no frills workout, now you pour the energy into the body, which is number 5, ladies and gentlemen. And what you'll realize is that actually burns and eschews fat quicker. So a lot of people may take meals and stuff before they work out, but I've come to find out for myself, being a former athlete, did not play, you know, at the professional level, but I did dabble a little bit in college, played a lot of sports in high school. I come to find out that if I work out vigorously before I put some fuel in the body is already exhilarated, and it will burn all the unnecessary fats and stuff, and it will pump up the muscle, baby. And if you put enough protein in, the muscles will stay lean and mean. So that's the way you get out and start thriving for 2025. And then it's no exception that you have a great day. You know, For me, mine was just the opposite. I did the workout and went to bed, and I slept very calm, cool, and collected. So Thursday morning and Friday morning, doing the opposite, I actually had better sleep as well. So sometimes you mix it up a little bit, and then you go in and you attack the day. And so guess what ended up happening, Nick? We end up, you know, making some revenues today. You know, hey, the serendipity. Of course, every day we strive to make revenues, but it's nice to see, boom, you know, a few sales come in, boom, you know, a few fees come in. And all that is predicated on that regiment that you committed to, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Not a resolution, but a regiment. And these are little small victories that you can take each and every day, and then it can propel you into your work, into your philosophy, to your philanthropy, and to your wholesome commitment to your community. So that's the first thing that I wanted to make sure that we reiterate to you, and make sure that we are making an impact in your lives as you are making an impact in your community's lives as well, because that's very important. So today, like you talked about, a lot of great things that are coming up. And actually, you know, Martin Luther King's birthday, officially his real birthday, was 2 days ago on Wednesday, January 15th. And last year, this time, we were opening up our resort.
Yep.
So it is a 1-year anniversary that our resort has been open, ladies and gentlemen. So hey, let's give a round of applause to that, man. Yep. So last year, 1/15/24, we opened up our residential luxury resort in beautiful Paje, Zanzibar. And man, things are going well in that regard. And that's a blessing of itself, that we were able to give back. We were able to employ many people in Zanzibar. We were able to build community, and we're just getting started. So thank goodness that we had that iconic celebratory event on Martin Luther King's birthday, which, hey, be free. You know, I have a dream, you know, that one day my children's children will be able to walk hand to hand, side by side with every man. And it's not about the, you know, pigment of his skin, but the content of his character. and that's the most important thing. So we want to say, yes, there's going to be an inauguration and a Martin Luther King celebration on the same day. So here's the thing. Let's don't get them mixed up. And most people, here's what we got to stop doing. We got to stop making these very important days just a day to party and spend money unnecessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's, unfortunately, is what's becoming known for these holidays. And that's not what the holiday is about. So you, in commemoration of this holiday on the 20th, hey, man, first and foremost, how about you give somebody an opportunity to help raise them up, help them get one step closer to whatever freedom that they deserve to have or they are pursuing, because that's really the essence of it. Okay, so make sure you're doing that. And then as an American citizen, regardless if you agree or not, it is an inauguration of 47. So here's what I like to say about that is the great thing about America is that we're the only country, well, I'm not going to say only, but relatively, we're still a leader in this category. When we have parties that don't agree and we have adversaries in America, once the change of power, we don't go into war against each other. And we peacefully allow that transition to happen. And we respectfully show respect to the next person who's taking the throne and taking the reins to run this country, albeit symbolically or actually doing it in true application. What do I mean by that? Well, here's the thing. We have this amazing stage left, application in some of our, dignitaries. What do I mean? Well, we talked about when President Carter passed away after being 100, and I just found out, and I wasn't really paying attention, but you had all the live presidents and first ladies in attendance at that funeral except one. And it's a shame. It's a shame because that's a tradition and that's a requirement. And guess what? You're going to want the same thing when your turn comes up. So regardless if you agree or not, hey, show the outside world that we are still united as one. You don't realize how strong of a message that you send by not being in attendance. You're sending a message to little boys and girls that, you know what? I'm not going to respect anybody if I don't get my way. And remember, John F. Kennedy said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. So until the empire of the United States of America falls, we should all line up in unison and be on the same page. And it's the same thing with sports. And again, this is the reason why sports is so great, because it's a meritocracy. And you can have people on the same team that can't stand each other, but they got one common goal. It's to win. And albeit we have dissenting, organizations not getting along, but we still have the same goal as Americans. One nation under God. Again, one nation under God. So we should know that our freedom and our way of life is still number one in the world. But if you're showing dissent visibly, you're sending a message that, guess what? We have cracks and fissures in the system and we are vulnerable. And when you show vulnerability, what happens? Attacks occur. So even if you are not on the same page with your organization, but you're a member of it, and when it comes to a, political or perspective that everybody's viewing you, hey man, show some unity. Show some respect. You don't have to like them. You don't have to love them, But you have to understand that it's no I in team. See, Malcolm X said, if you take the ILL out of illness and replace it with WE, you create wellness. And we have to be cognizant of that. So what I'm saying, and I'm praying, and I'm hoping that one detractor makes a last-minute decision to stand on universal principles of us being one nation of God at this inauguration. Because without Martin Luther King fighting for your civil rights, would you ever have been First Lady? Because you're now sending a message that it's all about me. And then you're sending another even deeper message to our community that I don't have to respect the man and the head of the house. Because think about this, Nick. Number 44 is going to be in attendance. Number 45 is going to be in attendance. Number 46 is going out of office. But guess what? Those other presidents, their wives are going to be by their side. And think about this. When Clinton did all the, crap that he did, the womanizing, the having, lewd, encounters in the Oval Office, albeit I'm not a fan of Hillary Clinton in any shape, size, or form. But you know one thing she did do? Without any hesitation, she stood by her president. So imagine this, ladies and gentlemen. How do you think that you can achieve financial independence, financial freedom, if you have a husband and a wife and they have discord, or the wife or the husband doesn't like somebody in the organization, so they're going to show their disdain by not showing up? But what they don't realize is they actually undermine their own spouse. Think about that. Think about how that looks. Look at the optics of that. Here it is. Supposed to be a strong, together, great family, black man, and absent from the picture, glaringly, is the former First Lady. Think about that. But then you look off stage and the things that they're doing from a social standpoint, you say, oh, kind of makes sense. Here it is. You're getting all the freedoms, all the benefits of American life, but you're still complaining. That's what Proverbs 17 talked about today. Don't mock. Don't make a mockery. Don't be ungrateful. Tell me, Nick, who lives better than the former First Lady who looks like us on this planet? Who has more than what she has? Financially, security, insurance, wealth, peace, independence. What does it say? What does a man gain if he got all the riches of the world, but he lost his soul? And that one statement speaks volumes and causes thousands of ripples across the globe. Because if you can't get your wife to say, hey, attend this event with me, It's the most important event to the spectrum of the world. Not your house, but the world's going to be tuning in on Inauguration Day. And I know, right before you say anything, ladies and gentlemen, 47, who was 45, he didn't attend 46. But guess what? That's on him. He didn't attend, thus his wife didn't attend. Think about it. But 44 is going to be in the house without his wife. Think about that. So if we are to thrive in 2025, the first thing we have to have is have unity. We have to have respect. And we have to give honor and umbrage to the system that allowed you to be the president and the first lady of these United States of America, which is still the most powerful institution on the planet for right now. That's important, ladies and gentlemen. Very important. So with that said, we're going to make a transition. We're going to talk about what we came here to talk about today in terms of helping you guys in reference to Family Finances Friday. Here's the thing we want to delve into real quickly. We're going to delve into getting off to a great start as you have accountability in your, small victories to thrive in 2025. And one of the most important things is making sure you are attached to the right people at the right time and the right place. Because if you are an entrepreneur, small business owner, small business woman, head of a company, and you are the person that everybody goes to get all the answers, have all the solutions, lead in times when are toughest, guess what? A lot of times, those people, unbeknownst to them, don't realize what's your outlet? What's your support system? Who do you lean on at times when you're the person that everybody's leaning on? So the first thing I want to encourage you to do is to make sure you have your vertical alignment set up with your 3 advisors in order for you to have that support system in a triangular standpoint. So number 1, make sure that you have a spiritual advisor who you can emulate, not duplicate, the principles of success that they have displayed throughout their lives. Because that's very important. Because if you are the head of an organization, be it first, your family, second, your community, and then if you're running, an organization that have 100, 200, 300 people, 20, 30, and all these people are leaning on you, man, where do you go for solace? Where do you go for peace of mind? Well, what you need to do is have that vertical alignment with your spiritual advisor. Okay? Because right now, that's needed first and foremost. And again, make sure that person you're emulating and you're reading the same book that you hold them to the things that you find meaningful, measurable, and manageable based on your comprehension of that book that you and that spiritual advisor both study. Don't follow their personality. Follow the word and your comprehension of it, and make sure that person is lining up with the word. And as long as they're lined up to the word, make sure you are allowing them to help lead you. Okay? So that's number 1. Number 2, the second thing is the biggest thing that's going on right now is a lack of leadership. in this world. So you have to make sure that you have a leader that you can be advised by, discipled by, stewardship by. So find yourself a proven leader. Now, it can be physically or it can be indirect. And again, you want to emulate, not duplicate, the leadership characteristics that they display in their everyday lives. So one of the things I would encourage you to do, if you don't know what that looks like, I would encourage you to pick up the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John C. Maxwell. 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, and it will tell you and illustrate to you what true leadership looks like. Because right now, in 2025, we are falling prey to idol worship. We're following entertainers, athletes, comedians, bad pastors, bad politicians. Those are not the leaders that you should be idolizing, and especially not for your children. So get yourself linked up directly, and if you can't do it directly, indirectly, to a qualified leader who has the fruit on the tree. And how do you know they're a leader? Because they have already made other leaders from their tree. Now, once you've done that, then the third thing is, as it pertains, most of you that are watching our show on a regular basis that we are helping, you're doing it for entrepreneurship, business, family finances. So guess what? That third advisor has to be a business leader, albeit a one-man, one-woman successful solopreneurship, or it can be a man or woman that resides over a multinational business that's successful. And this part is very important, ladies and gentlemen, because you have to have the ability to be able to sit down and confide with them to actually get new perspective, keeping you humble, keep your feet on the ground when things are going extremely well. Also, having the ability not to go too deep into depression when things are not going the way you expect them to go. And the way to do that is to link up. You should do it once a week, but no worse than once a month. Pull together for an hour and share insights through leadership to help give you perspective on how to be a better leader in 2025. And this is so important, ladies and gentlemen, because I was talking to a member of our organization the other day out on the East Coast, and he said, "Hey, DJ," he said, "man, I know you had talked about pulling together a small business support group back in December, and I meant to put my hat in the ring, and I want to put my hat in the ring, and I want to make sure I can be part of that group." I said, "You know what? I would love for you to be part of that group." And so what turned out, Nick, to be a initial 5-10 minute phone conversation ended up being a good hour and 15 minutes or so. And he had some stuff that he just needed to have an outlet. He asked for some advice, some spiritual advice. We prayed together as well. And you know what the funny thing about it, Nick, is that they always say the teacher gets more than the student. And I found myself, in a serendipitous way, not knowing that it was going to turn out to be a very beautiful hour and 15-minute conversation, but I actually got more out of the conversation than he did. Now, he said he got a lot out of it, but I felt empowered because I was unselfishly pouring my heart and soul into the conversation for nothing in return. And it was the best feeling that I had the other day. And then immediately I hit up Kadera and I said, "You know what? Let's send that list back out and make sure that we put this group together even if it's only 5 businessmen, women, that we can fellowship 1 hour a month on a Saturday or a Sunday, because this conversation made it even more important how important it is. And this is what really stood out, ladies and gentlemen. This gentleman has a multi-million-dollar business, very successful. Had a couple of, ups and downs in 2024, like several people had. And he said, you know what? He said, DJ, here's my challenge. My wife is the number one supporter, and she's great partner in every aspect, but I still always seem I got to be perfect in everything I do. I can't have 0 letdowns. And he said, especially as a Black man. And I said, you know what? I understand exactly where you're coming from. I said, because if we're in that position, ladies and gentlemen, we are always the go-to for everybody. And we're never expected to take a time off or have a downtime. But when we don't make it, all of a sudden, the landscape says, oh, he messed it up for the whole community, for the whole culture. And inexplicably, they put that burden on us. Thus, we don't have the opportunity to even get a break. And some people may relate to that, Nick, and some people may not, but it's a double standard. You got to keep it real. It happens. So now that person goes into much stress and overworks themselves, overworries themselves. And he had asked me another important question. He said, man, how do you handle the stress when things don't go right and you did everything you possibly can do? What do you do with the stress? And I said, well, you know what? I learned a valuable lesson about 15 years ago when I thought, I was having a massive heart attack. When I was in the bill pay business, ladies and gentlemen, I was just doing so much and I had so much stress on me that one day about 2-3 o'clock in the morning, man, felt like my heart was going to just jump out of my chest. So obviously rushed to the, hospital, and it was like, you're not having a heart attack. I go see the specialist and he said, hey man, he said, you're under so much stress. He said, you're lucky to be alive. He said, but you know what? If you weren't a good physical specimen, you'd be out of here. He said, hey man, what do you do for a living? And what is your outlet? I told him what I did for a living. I said, this is my outlet. He said, hey man, you got to let that go. And from that moment forward, as I was telling my guy the other day, literally this was yesterday, I said, from now on, since then, I don't worry about anything anymore. Because here's what I do know. I know that if I give my all, do my best, do it with transparency, and do it with integrity, when things go wrong, there's nothing for me to be concerned about. I also told him, I said, from an investor standpoint, because, he has investors just like we do. He said, how do you talk to them? I said, well, here's the thing that I do. I said, the first thing is I don't over promote whatever we're doing. The second thing is I make sure that they fully understand all the ramifications of getting involved in business with us, no matter where they're getting in business with us at. It could be as simple as, Nick, somebody downloaded the ABCs of Wealth book. They invested the $20 or whatever it is we charge for it, and then they're unsatisfied with the book, even though they have it, but they want a return. I say, well, look, we were straightforward. You deposit your money, we gave you the download. We can't get the download back, but you still want the refund? No big deal. If they get one of our courses and they don't use it, the application part, but they still want the accountability on our behalf, I don't worry about it. Before, I would worry about everything. I said, so now, I said, as long as I know, I have been transparent, I've been forthright, I told them everything about how to do business with us in whatever capacity, from from an entry level, person buying our book, ladies and gentlemen, to somebody investing in Zanzibar, I know that I have been straightforward with them, and I know I have done everything humanly possible. Plus, even if it's not going the way I expect or they expect, so I don't worry about it anymore. And I said, what gave me the freedom to do that was the experience 15 years ago, but more importantly, was the advisory group that I have. And now I just leave that up to God. And I said, another thing is when that person tries to get in touch with me, I'm accessible. Albeit I'm busy, but I'm accessible. And I will always speak truth to them, regardless if it's not what they want to hear. And most importantly, if it's not what I want to tell them, because I am dissatisfied and I am my worst critic. The third thing is, ladies and gentlemen, generally, you have to be in a unique position. What do I mean? You have more invested in everything than they do when they're doing business with you. So if they invest $1 with you, you have $100 in it. If they put in 5 hours of work with you, you put in 50 hours of work. So when the outcome in the short term is not what you expected and they expected because they were looking for a return on investment, you can sit down and say, hey, you know what, Nick? I really appreciate that you put your $1,000 into the program with us. And we have $100,000 invested. And I appreciate you put your 20 hours in every week with us. We're putting in 100 hours. So obviously we are not happy with the short-term results, but we can guarantee you one thing is that we're going to do everything humanly possible, physically, financially, and mentally to make sure that this is right. And the number one thing is we chose the right vehicle to be in. So stay with us. And if, Nick, you don't appreciate that, here's the thing I want to leave with you. You read the terms of the agreement, and they were very straightforward, and you agreed to them. And you know what, Nick? Nobody twisted your hand. Nobody coerced you. You were not under duress, and you got involved with us for the right reasons at the right time. And all we ask you to do is show some patience and understanding and allow us to work things through. And once you have done that, ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing for you to be concerned about. Because here's what I've found. People appreciate that because that's what the world is not giving today. Because generally, the more people charge for stuff, unfortunately, through the technology, the harder it is to get in touch with them nowadays. Have you had that experience? They give you all the bells and whistles and tell you how great stuff is, and it's very easy to make a transaction with them. But it's almost 5-10 times as hard just to get back in touch with them after that transaction. That's unfortunate. But if, like I was sharing with our member, I said, if you're like us, which you are, which it talks about in the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership, it says the law of attraction. You attract to you what you are. If Nick's an educator and he loves teaching and he loves history, most of the people he get down with the best naturally are going to have the same vibe as Nick has. If you are into music and you play an instrument, you're going to have the attraction of other musical people, and you're going to first maybe not understand it, but you're going to be like, man, how is it that everybody I get down with plays a musical instrument? And John C. Maxwell talks about this in the law of attraction, where he used to be a pastor, and he noticed how the different churches attracted different type of people to the congregation. We've all seen this. You'll go to a church and they got the best choir. They got the best, pianists and all that. And everybody that comes has some type of musical talent, sing, writes, performs. Or you'll go to another church, like a Presbyterian church, and everybody's buttoned up. They're stiff. They're corporate. They don't attract that opposite. So you have to understand that about yourself in the law of attraction. So when it comes down to having less stress, if you're straightforward with people, you're not going to be perfect. sometimes the hardest thing to do is to tell people what they need to hear, not what they want to hear, but what they need to hear. And also dealing with yourself because you don't want to let them down. Because when you're truly sincere and you're working your butt off, the last thing you want to do is give somebody bad news. And especially if you know they invested in you and they believed in you. But they will have a reverence and a high regard for you when you're always straightforward with them and you shoot them the truth. So what I always do is people, I say, hey, I just ask you 3 things to engage in a relationship with me. Number 1, allow me the opportunity to earn your trust. Let me do the things that we said we can do. And if we can't do them the right way, but we are doing the principles, let us share that with you. So that's number 1. Allow me to earn your trust. Number 2, let me do what I know how to do in my lane of expertise and experience. And let me tell you what you need to know, not what you need to hear. And if number 1, you allow me to earn your trust. Number 2, you allow me to do the things I need to do to help you out. Then number 3, let's keep doing 1 and 2 until the plan doesn't work. And understand this, most plans that are successful, they are not short-term nanosecond plans. So you have to have a reality of real expectations. That's very important because if we tell you we started this project in 2022 and we expect it to be finished and completely, successful in 2027, all you should be looking for in 2025 are mileposts, road marks based on metrics and productivity and not activity to say, here's where we are. If it relationship-wise, from a personal perspective, you should engage with people and ask them questions that are important to you to just get to know them personally because you don't want to get to know everyone. And so how does this work in your financial structure of your family life? Well, the first thing that you should do in 2025, besides those 5 little victories to thrive, is to actually do what? Set up a game plan. Sit down. If you're a 1-man or 1-woman family, sit down with yourself. Take inventory. Know what your money situation is. Know what your reoccurring expenses are. Know how you make money, and then set a plan forth on what you want to accomplish in 2025. Give yourself a 30-day goal, a 90-day goal, a 6-month goal, and a 12-month goal. So that's 30 days, 90 days, 6 months, and a year. Now, if you happen to have a family of 2, 3, 4 people, you first sit down, take inventory, and then you call together a family meeting and you sit down with the family and you first show, hey, here's what we accomplished in the previous year. And hopefully it was a successful year. And if it wasn't, did you do the work? Because if you did the work and it wasn't successful in the previous year, but you're consistent, you can command success in this year. So don't get discouraged in doing the good work. Because a lot of times, like the duck, you see the duck above water, but you don't realize that the duck is really moving boom, 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 boom. Those web feet are moving 100 miles an hour, but they look like they just cruising. So what you have to have the wisdom and understanding is if we did the proper work the plan, and we didn't get the exact results, don't quit. Keep going. So now you sit down with the family and you share with them the results from the previous year. And here's what we're going to do in this year. Here's the short-term plan, the intermediate plan, and the long-term plan. And then you assign them all their responsibilities and their duties. And guess what you do? As the leader of the family, you get together with them no less than 1 hour a month. That's average. But if you are a supreme leader, guess what? You're taking inventory and productivity reports once a week. So one of the things that we've done in our family to get off to thrive in 2025 as a leader, taking, emulation from my counsel. Hey, what are they doing that I wasn't doing consistently in the previous year? Oh, the prayer every day. The word every day. Now, I may have been doing it, but was I doing it with the family? No, I was not doing it consistently. And you say to yourself, if you can get up and you can do the basic things in hygiene, brush your teeth, comb your hair, wash your body, why can't you insert the prayer of the day, the word of the day? Because it has not been a habit, so you have to make it a habit, and you have to go outside of your comfort zone to make it the comfort zone. So amazingly, what's transpired, and it's the 17th day of the new year, I'm getting unexpected great response from the prayer and the word of the day. And unbeknownst to me, I've had 3-4 different people. Man, thanks for praying for us today. Man, thanks for the word today. And I'm like, wow. Even if we didn't achieve anything else, we achieved the most important thing. We have a spiritual base in leadership, and that's going to spread throughout our family, which is going to spread throughout our community, which is going to spread throughout our world. That's what our goal and our perspectives are, so we know that we will thrive in 2025. We know that we will obtain plenty of money and peace of mind, because they're Siamese twins, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are watching our show and you are feeling that you need to get recalibrated and you don't know where to go to do that, I'm going to encourage you to drop us a line. Call us at our toll-free number, 866-395-3042, 866-395-3042. Or email us, at nick@djthemoneycoach.com. Because guess what? You're not alone in your pathway to your peace, and you're not alone in your pathway to financial freedom. The only thing you have to do is ask. It's just that simple, but it's not easy. So we want to make sure that we can be a place where we can help. We can add, some heart to the situation. We can add a little bit of humor to the situation. And that way you can start living your best pom-pom lifestyle, because the movement can't be stopped, ladies and gentlemen. That's the reality of it. So one of the things that we're going to do more on this platform is we're going to get to the heart of the matter. And for us, heart is an acronym. It's for, heart is for heart, hustle, energy, attitude, and teamwork. And we're going to do the best we possibly can to eliminate the I, me syndrome inside of us, because that's important. So we want to make sure that we are a blessing to you and your family. And we also want to provide some levity, of some humor, provide some resources, and provide some opportunities for you as well. So we always enjoy you allowing us to come into your home every Friday and share some valuable information to help you, put a smile on your face and put a little more pep in your step, and then get you closer to financial independence, because nobody's an island. No man, no woman is an island. And it is called Family Finance Friday, and we want to keep it that way. So we really appreciate you tuning in and listening to us. And if you found this to be, helpful in any shape, size, or form, hey, share it with somebody. That's all you have to do. And God will bless you on your journey, and you will be not only successful, but you will become significant. And that is the number one destination, is to have significance, so we can impact lives and impact the world. But the first life you got to save is your own. And then the second one is your family. And if you do that, you will get a multiplying effect in the most positive aspect and experience that you'll ever have. So I'm DJ the Money Coach. You're watching Family Finance Friday with Nick Westbrooks and yours truly. And you are the most important person to us always. And we wish you a pom-pom lifestyle. That's plenty of money and peace of mind. And we want you to come join us on the beaches of the World Club and thrive in 2025. So we'll see you next time. Out everything. We're going to give you a master training, 3-hour course, 2 consultations. We're going to teach you how to build credit up to $100,000 interest-free for 18 months. Pay off your home in 7 to 10 years. And most importantly, create $8,333 a month passive income. It's a $997 course. You get it all today for $97. Hit that link and beat me to the master training.
Some of the best things that I like about Zanzibar was being on the land, seeing the emerald water.
Got to see the island, connect with the people, do exclusive luxury experiences that you'll only get on the island of Zanzibar.
Some of the best things that I like about Zanzibar was being on the land, seeing the emerald water.
Got to see the island, connect with the people, do exclusive luxury experiences that you'll only get on the island of Zanzibar.
The beach, fresh food, the people. I mean, I could write a short book about what I experienced here.
Eating the best fruit, vegetables, seafood.
Met some amazing people. We had an amazing time.
I like the tours that we went on, the Spice Island, and the Paradise Island.
The snorkeling. That was an exclusive experience. Huge sandbar. That was set up like our private dining area. The sand is soft, the water's warm.
Unadulterated pure, simple, Zanzibar.
So the opportunity in Zanzibar is very, 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 very clear. There is nothing but economical growth and development happening right now.
Zanzibar, just because it's an up and coming area.
You get here and you see the opportunity.
And then you come on the African side, you get to see even a different type of togetherness.
Being able to ask questions, and DJ was just like, hey, ask me anything.
Plenty of money and peace of mind. Zanzibar all day.